What's up, viewers? Welcome back to the channel. Maverick here, and ready for episode 15 of Steins Gate 0. So, unfortunately, due to all the other new series that I'm doing this season, I had to cut back a little bit on Steins Gate as well. I've been trying to do at least 2 or 3 episodes per week, but it's getting kind of hard to do that, especially with my own, private life, or I shouldn't say private life, work life and whatnot. But don't worry, I will still be doing it at least once per week at the very minimum, and sprinkling in more when I can find the time to squeeze it in. Because I do feel like Steins Gate is a series where it works better if you watch the episodes, consecutively, right? Especially at this part, I feel like it keeps the flow along. And speaking of which, so normally I would recap with what happened last episode, right? But really, all I'm really excited about is that Maho is back, right? And I am super happy to see her join the regular cast again. Still waiting for some more of her interactions with Okabe as well. As for the rest, the actual main story and whatnot, I've had my, I've done my theories in the past. I'm not going to bore you guys with reiterating what I already said. So let's just get into the episode, and I'll comment accordingly when it gets to that point. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. I mean, of course, there's this oof, that face. Yeah, of course, there's that part as well, but I mean, we can't really comment too much on what she's actually doing there. A week left until she has to travel? Ah, she looks cute. Ah. What are you doing, Daru? Alright, anyways, let me skip this real quick. We saw this modified version last episode, right? So, let me just skip this real quick. Alright. There. Seriously? That's a little over the top. Like, is she like 140 or something? Centimeters? uh, is that true? Or is that just part of her plan? Playing matchmaker for your own father and mother. Ah. Back to the Future much? Eh, impeccable logic. Hmm? Okay, I like that reference there. That was fun. So she forced. Hey, it's a titulu, titulu. Alright. Look at all the beauties here. Oh, so that photo was okay. Mm. Repottawa. His accent. Really? Ah. Hmm? Is this gonna be another episode where nothing really much happens except, you know, them messing around? I mean, I don't really mind. It's always fun to watch them go about their daily lives. What? Oh, never mind. It's just. Oh. Is this some. Is this similar to the actual brainwashing that Kagari went through? Look at Suzuha's face. I think that's it. I think that's it. Looking fly, Dara. That's probably not why she likes her. That's probably not why she likes Dara. Not as beautiful. Oh my god. What are you getting down underneath for? Mm-hmm. What's with using this music at this scene? Oh, come on. What is with this rom-com development? Oh my god. Oh, he's actually crying. Mm-hmm. Oh. That's how she... Oh man, even though she mentioned that before... Like that? うんうん。Damn, it suddenly turned so wholesome. Oh my god. No, but still, can't you at least put on a shirt, dude? Oh, damn. Ah. Ah, she's so cute. Ah, my heart, it's melting. uh, uh, he needs to make a choice. Natural intuition. Aww. Such a wholesome episode. Suzuha's leaving, isn't she? Kagari. Well, there we go. I like this episode a lot. Alright, I'll see you guys after the ending. Man, I gotta say, I was very pleasantly surprised by this episode, and I feel like it might be one of my favorites. Definitely one of the top for sure in Steins Gate Zero so far, and it might come as a surprise to a lot of you because honestly, nothing really happened much. All right, and I had no expectations going into this episode as well. When I saw the beginning, I was like, okay, this is probably going to be another one of those episodes where they spend like 80% of the time fooling around, having fun, and putting some humor in it and whatnot, and then at the very end, suddenly take a serious tone again with some big development or big revelation, right? But instead, although nothing really happened, I really liked this episode, and it just came out of nowhere, the emotional factor, and it's actually quite touching, right? So, you know, Suzu has said before how Yuki died in the future, right? How her mother died in the future, but it's left to our imagination. I completely did not expect them to actually animate the scene here, so that took me completely by surprise, and you just feel so awful for Suzuha and Yuki and how, you know, that scene turned out, right? How that event played out. Not only that, and then we also get a lot of other stuff that's quite emotional as well, such as, you know, Daru's determination at the very end, mustering up the courage to invite Yuki out again for a second day, you know, just the wholesomeness of that, and of course on the date and how, you know, they have this little romance thing going, and then, you know, blushing Yuki is so precious, right? And I loved how they also sort of like went full circle, right? From we were introduced to a scene with Suzuha and Yuki in the future, where, you know, Suzuha isn't really smiling and whatnot, and then we end this episode with still again Suzuha and Yuki in the picture together, but this time smiling happily, right? So it just comes full circle, and I just love it. I just love it. I will fully admit, okay, I fully admit that my eyes actually kind of swelled up by the end there, and you know, if it wasn't for the sort of like humor elements that they also put in as well, I probably would have actually had a tear come off or something. And it's, you know, it's really funny because I was actually just talking about this with one of the viewers, one of you viewers, a few, maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago, D Hunter, I believe, and you know how he said that there's actually a lot of emotional episodes, not just in Steins Gate Zero, but in the original Steins Gate as well, and how I didn't really, you know, feel much for any of them. And I will fully admit, right, it's an if it wasn't for D Hunter who told me this, I really don't think there was many parts where I really felt emotional and to the point where I felt, you know, very sad or anything. And part of the reason I feel like is because I view this as a time travel anime, right? And so all things can eventually be reversed in a certain sense. And really, even with how should I say it, with for instance, in the original series, where either Kurisu or Mayuri dies or whatnot, once you see her immediately in the next episode, it's just like, how am I supposed to actually feel so much for that episode, right? So I don't know. It just, I never felt at any time within the original series that it was something worth getting emotional over, because I just felt like, okay, everything is going to work out in the end. But this scene here, it really completely caught me off guard, and I feel like that's part of the reason why I eventually got so emotional over seeing myself as well. Like, I'm a big fan of these sudden swing emotions, right? Like, it has you laughing at one point and then suddenly becomes all serious and sentimental in another, right? It's why I'm a big fan of Gintama and why I love that series so much. I feel like these kinds of swings and emotions, the ones that really catch me off guard, are the ones that I'm moved by the most. If you spend a lot of time like hyping it up or building it up, then eventually I feel like, I've already steeled my heart's resolve in a certain way, and then so at the end I don't feel much for it instead. So I don't know, what did you guys think about this episode? Did you also consider this like one of the more emotional scenes or whatnot? Let me know. So yeah, so that's why I really love this episode. And, besides that, there's also a few other things, right? So we got some cameo appearances, particularly Ruka. We haven't seen him. We haven't seen him in a long time, and so it's nice to let him have some screen time as well. And Ferris, I feel like maybe he has, and Moeka both have a little bit more screen time than Ruka. But beyond that as well, I feel like there's two hints that were left within this episode that actually will have consequences in the future episodes. One would be the hypnosis device, the sleep hypnosis or sleep suggestion device that Maho used to sort of change Daro's personality, right? That has got to be something that, that their institution is researching on, and perhaps it's Maho that's spearheading this research, and that is probably what actually affected Kaguri from the future as well, and that's how she was brainwashed in a certain way. I feel like that stems from this research right there, and I feel like Suzuha also recognizes this as well, since we saw her face during that scene, so I feel like she also recognizes the the parallels between these two things. Beyond that one, though, another thing is actually on Okabe and the the sort of research assignment that the professor actually put on him. So we don't see exactly what he's researching on, but I would bet that it's probably something to do with memory transfer or transplantation or something like that, and that is what they are striving to move towards. And the reason for this is I feel like perhaps Okabe is using some of his knowledge that he gained during his time with Kurisu when they were building the time leap machine and whatnot and D-mail, and instead utilizing here in the theory of memory transfer or transplanting instead. And that is also something that's going to move towards the future, particularly towards Kaguri's situation, right? So my prediction right now is probably Okabe's research has something to do with that. I feel like that's everything I want to talk about for this episode. We see, of course, there's some other things as well. We see Kaguri probably going to have another big showdown with Suzuha in the next episode as well. We see Daru regaining his determination, so he's probably going to double his efforts on fixing the time machine, and of course Maho is there as well. Don't really know where the plot point between Mayuri and Okabe is going, like they need to talk what, and is that actually going to have any big consequences, or is that just sort of maybe signifying that Okabe is gradually, walking on a different path from his friends and whatnot. Don't really know. We'll probably see in the next episode, right? So yeah, that covers everything for this episode. A very fun one. I really like this one. I'll be completely honest. So, there you go. I hope I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Though, like I said, due to the scheduling for this season, I might have to put these episodes out once per week. But if I do have the spare time, I will try to get more out. So, I'll see you guys then. Until then, bye-bye.